Popkern's exclusive sponsor is Bakersfield Heart Hospital.
Welcome back to Popkern, and today we're talking about these masks. I know, a little bit of a collective groan, but they are a necessary accessory, and I promise we're gonna make them fun and fashionable today. We're in downtown Bakersfield, ready to visit the studio. We're gonna make our own masks today, DIY, jazz them up, make sure they're your style, and make sure you're ready for the masquerade. So we're inside the studio right now, run by co-owners Amanda Schaefer, and we got Jocelyn DeMaya joining us through Zoom.
So we offer sewing classes to all ages, and that ranges from private lessons to workshops to classes.
And since you can't have in-person sewing lessons right now, what you both have done is held virtual lessons.
Well, first I want to talk about our virtual camps, which have been group classes for kids. And what we've been doing is creating things like stuffies, like you'll see right here. So we've learned just a lot of basic stitches. And what we do is we deliver a box with all of the materials kids need.
I definitely am significantly more of an amateur than both of you with sewing. So I think we're gonna start by making a no-sew mask.
Yeah,
right?
It's just a piece of fabric. This is just a scarf, that's a bandana. I am literally just going to fold it into like a triangle. It doesn't have to be any specific width, just enough to cover your face.
You're like double masked right now.
Yeah, you can't hear me too well, huh?
The nice thing about this is that even though the fabric that you had initially was quite thin, by layering it, you created all of those layers, and you can
kind of make that bigger or make that smaller.
If you are good with your sewing machine, we also have a free mask pattern available for download on our website.
Okay, so I see here, we're starting with this lovely little, and this just looks like a tiny little piece of scrap.
It's literally just 2 pieces of fabric, 9 by 6 inches. I just sewed all the way around, but I left a gap. That's so we can flip it, so that way we don't see all of these ugly seams.
Oh.
And we just kind of lay that all flat, and then we make some pleats. Kind of place a pin there, and then place a pin on that side. I put a piece of elastic. So then we would fold these sides in.
And I guess if you didn't have an elastic, could you use like a hair elastic?
Yeah, you totally could.
Yeah.
My next step is I am just going to sew along the insides of those.
So I see you're going over once and then you're going over twice.
Yes, just to reinforce it. That's a back stitch.
Timing that took what, all of 30 seconds?
Yeah, definitely. So with the elastic, I'm just going to make a knot at the end.
Is this something that would be too tedious to hand sew?
It's definitely something you can hand sew. When you are hand sewing projects such as a mask, you really just want to make sure that all of your stitches are really close together, because smaller stitches will create a stronger bond.
I think that's the greatest thing. It's like custom fabric and custom size.
Pull it. Yeah. Honestly, a great quarantine project, right?
Definitely.
So now it's time to put all of these masks to the test. We're gonna start off with our classic N95. Of course, these aren't widely available anymore. They're mostly reserved for healthcare workers, as they should be, but we're gonna still put it to the Bill Nye the Science Guy candle test. Basically, you know a mask is effective if you cannot blow out a candle with the mask on. And this really is called an N95 because it's meant to block out 95% of the particles from your mouth. Clearly not even budging here. And then we have these cloth masks. If the cloth mask is at least double layered, you can see there are 2 layers of fabric. These are still 80 to 90% effective. Same idea, still here. Surgical masks, let's try out this. And these you kind of have to tailor a little bit more to your face. Make sure this nose crease is really pushed down here. And if I need, I will make the elastics a little bit tighter. Okay, this is not budging. Now we have the bandana. And this was the no-sew type of mask that Amanda and Jocelyn and I just made. So essentially, this no-sew mask As long as it is multiple layers, just like Amanda told us, it still works almost as effectively as these cloth masks here. And now, these have newly sort of popped up. They kind of make me feel like I'm in a sci-fi movie or something, or I'm a mad scientist. There's obviously no protection here, underneath you, on the sides of your face, but you can see the glass doesn't fog up around me, and it definitely helps with communication. So let's put it to the candle test. Essentially, this is a piece of plastic. If it was under me, well, the candle does go out. Now, last but not least, we have these neck gaiters. They're pretty popular, they're stretchy, but a recent study from Duke University said that wearing one of these is worse than wearing no mask at all. At least to me, that was very confusing. I don't know how that's possible, since it feels like having one piece of fabric over your face is better than having none. But the study did say that because of the stretchy material, it takes the particles from your mouth and makes them smaller and disperses them. Right out. Well, thank you so much for DIYing with us today. I hope you learned something new. I hope you have a new quarantine activity. I'll see you next Friday at noon. Oh, I think I just lost an earring.